What is up, everybody? We are back. Welcome to Let's Do a Podcast. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Anthony, the guy who forgot that he's now being videotaped.
Yes. We are now live-ish via the interwebs. I mean, it's pretty pre-recorded, but you can actually see us now.
We have a recording delay. It's for your safety.
Yes. We're not going live yet. Maybe eventually down the road, but
hey, you've seen what happens when we go live.
Yeah, things are not good. Things are not good. So yeah, I mean, it was slowly we'll rearrange stuff in the room so it looks a little bit better. But you know what? I was like, I got the camera, we got everything. Might as well just hit live or hit record. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
So, of course, before we do too much, let's talk about beer.
All right.
So we are drinking. I'd show you the label, but there's no label.
It's invisible. You can only see it if you're a really smart person.
That's right. Look harder. So it is called Shitter's Full. It's from Dumpweed Brewing, and they pretty much did another collab between Strikeout Beer and them. So, well, Strikeout Beer did a collab with Brutal. My words, it's like I've never podcasted before.
So in case you're wondering, in case you're blanked out everything from the Christmas season already, which I don't blame you, because that's like what's that now? End of January. Shitter's Full is of course a reference to National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation,
right?
Where he's dumping the the RV's waste septic system into the sewer.
So yeah, we're drinking that today because I have a lot of it. So we figured, might as well drink it up.
Yeah. So it's you said
winter ale.
You said a winter ale, right?
Yeah.
Do we have any deets on this?
No
deets.
No, I have no info on this.
And it's from
Dumpweed.
Dumpweed.
Dumpweed Brewing. Look them up on the Facebooks and interwebs.
Yeah.
I think, if I remember correctly, I think they're trying to do a brewery because right now they're home brewers. So,
I'm all about pumping up some new up and comers because hey, it's like I love getting the more competition we have on the beer scene, the better beer we get.
Sure.
As us, the drinkers. So I'm all for it.
Yep. Have you tried it yet?
I am trying it right as we speak.
Bottoms up.
I'm never usually much of a winter ale person, but this is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it too. I really do. Winter ales are very hit or miss for me.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But whenever I first had this, I was like, really? I mean, it's not a bad winter ale.
Yeah.
Like, I like theirs and this one and a Petacola's winter ale.
Mm-hmm.
Those are two really good ones. So, I had to pick the superhero glasses. Just, I figured it kind of somewhat fits with the theme of our movie, sort of, not really. The closest thing I could get to try to relate to our movie,
because it's about a bunch of people who would maybe enjoy this sort of thing. So,
yeah. But okay, so before we get into the movie, a little catch up. I mean, we've been off for. Did we take off all December?
No, we actually did some Christmas movies.
Okay, we did.
Yeah, we did do that. We did take off all of January, though.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, for good reason, though.
Yes. So, well, yeah. So one was
for reasons.
For reasons. Me and my wife both got COVID, so that was a reason. And then on top of getting COVID, we also moved.
Yeah, it was great timing on your part.
It was fantastic. Like, really. So we tested positive for COVID. It was like that Thursday or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then that Saturday is whenever we had the movers come. I was like, what are we gonna do? So pretty much what we did is we had we left the house early in the morning and we had my parents come and they helped the movers, because I was just like, either way, we gotta move. Like, we gotta get out of here. So that was it was an adventure, I would say. But you know what? We got moved eventually. It was such a horrible experience, but we got moved.
Yeah, I bet. It's like
Um,
moving's already like a kind of a crappy
yeah,
experience, and then have COVID on top of that.
yeah, it
Boo.
really already sucks. But really, besides that, I mean, it's just been unpacking, and just now kind of trying to make our home in a
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
So that's really what I've been doing, and we're luckily like I don't have any more. I somewhat like in the mornings I still have my cough
Mhm.
from it. Like that's the only like lingering side effects. My wife though, she's still coughing quite a bit.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So or at least for me, those were my reasons for not doing it.
Those were my reasons too.
Yes,
Yeah.
we
Uh,
stayed away from each other for a
yeah,
long time.
yeah. I'm gonna knock on wood here. I'm still dodging it pretty good. So, I, uh I
Ugh,
don't wanna test fate, but
yeah,
we'll see. It seems like everybody and their mom's getting it nowadays with Omicron running around, so,
yeah. We were. I mean, we were
yeah,
very lucky that ours like I don't know, or at least for me, it was very mild, very
yeah.
mild. Like I had a cough and
It's a great thing about being triple vaxxed.
yeah, and it was just like it almost just felt like bad allergy day for
Yeah,
me. That's why I was like, I'm all right. Like it's not me and all
yeah.
that stuff. But my wife got it worse than I did. And actually that day that my results came back positive was the day I was supposed to get my booster shot too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was like, dang. But you know what? I have an appointment where I'm gonna get it still and we'll move on.
Yeah,
So
it's funny because I had my first actual exposure, like, right before Christmas, and, of
that's
course
right. That's right.
of course, so I went and did the PCR test, and, of course so it's, like, right before Christmas. They're already slow turning those things around because again, everybody was trying to get tested right before Christmas, and, because they wanted to, like, get tested, get confirmation they didn't have COVID, and then go hang out with the fam.
Right, right.
Or isolate and see if they had to isolate for all of Christmas and just have a like put a shitty cap on 2021, right?
Yeah.
Then but of course, freaking freaking yeah, they took Christmas off, and so my stuff sat there, and I don't think I got my COVID results for 10 days.
I was
So
about to say, if I
yeah,
remember right, it took y'all a long time to
yeah,
get it.
and I was like, oh, cool. Now I can know if I had COVID at this point. So, fortunately came back clear. As I mentioned, I'm still again, knock on wood, I'm still dodging it.
Yeah.
But, that's been my one, like, exposure, and I'm just, like, kinda like, juking left and right, just
Yeah.
kinda like yeah, so, like, dodging raindrops at this point, so
Dude, for real. And that's the most frustrating part of like reality is like we've taken really like good precautions and like we don't do a lot outside of the house and all that stuff. So it's just like we do so much and then we still freaking got it.
yeah.
And like some of these people are acting like it's not real and they have never gotten it. I'm like, come on.
I will say one thing
But
that's shitty, I got my first head cold since COVID started, just a few weeks ago. I'm like, "Are you serious? I thought if I wear a mask, I wouldn't even get the head cold." So,
yeah.
I was just like, got the slight and of course, you get the slight congestion and you're like, Do I have COVID?"
Oh yeah, immediately. Especially now, like with the temperature changes so dramatically. Like I'm
Yeah.
just like, okay, is it that or mean, there's no way I already have COVID again, is there? I mean,
Yeah. It's
like,
that doesn't work like that, right?
right? But so, I mean, that's pretty much what we've been up to. Um, I wish I could say it was a lot more fun things. I mean,
Yeah.
I get this room. I get my
Yeah.
own studio room, I guess I'll call it. Um, pretty much like I game and I stream. I'm doing that more. You can see I have like all my Funko Pops. By the way, if you're listening to this and not watching this,
I'm
we
just
now are on we videotape this, which we kind of mentioned that, which they are released the Tuesday that our podcast releases. So this will be this Tuesday, the first.
yeah, you can purchase it on at your local video rental store
That's
on
right.
VHS.
Go to your local Blockbuster. So yeah, so we post the video to our YouTube, to our Facebook, and we're also on PartyCast Network, um, which they're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter. Uh, I think that's it, maybe. But
Oh, is this
so
gonna be on Twitch?
yeah.
I've never been on Twitch before,
Oh,
so that'll be really
you're on
interesting.
Twitch now.
Oh, crazy.
So yeah, so now from now on, we'll be live via then, and we'll talk about more often. We're gonna get in the habit of reminding you guys, like, hey, if you want to do more than just listen and watch for some reason, here you go. Here's the options of where you can watch.
Yeah.
So
I will say other things that like within the realm of this podcast that I did go see like one or two movies during the course of our hiatus. I went and saw the new Spider-Man movie.
I still haven't seen it.
Yeah. Oh, it
I
was
know.
good.
I know. I've heard so
It's
much
like,
good.
and I thought about that movie as I was watching this movie, and I was like, man, this movie sucks compared to it's like, well, there are a lot of movies that suck compared to the new Spider-Man movie, but this
Right.
movie really sucks compared to Spider-Man movies. So
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
it's like I just can't. I should not compare it because I would just be like grumpy the entire time watching it. So I can't believe I can't gotta watch this instead of Spider-Man again.
We went to see The Matrix
Oh
in
yeah,
theaters. First
that's
time
right.
I've
I was
been
supposed to go
in.
see it with you, and then I had to
Oh
go
yeah,
get
yeah.
tested for COVID.
Yeah, we were like, oh, let's I guess be on the safe side.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, all right. So you've seen it, right? I think you watched it at home.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I saw it on HBO Max.
Yeah. I mean, the I don't know what to say about it except for like it was a Matrix movie.
It
Um,
was. It was extremely, extremely meta.
yeah.
It was very self-referential, which as a fan of Community, I'm a big fan of meta stuff. So
Yeah.
I was like, this is super meta, and I don't know if I'm like having like a fever dream where maybe like the Matrix never actually happened, and
I
this is
mean,
happening now.
that's the thing is like I watched it and I think we already know all this.
Yeah.
We've already gone through all of this. Why are we going through it again?
It's they go into so much detail about the previous movies, and it's funny because I don't know about you, but my wife, she had never seen the Matrix movies, so we sat down and we watched all of them, and then I also watched the Animatrix because I used
Mhm.
to own the DVDs, so I wanted to get like just in case any of that knowledge came in handy. Newsflash, it didn't.
No, they retell you everything,
Yeah.
so you're fine.
So I didn't have to like remember anything. They just tell you what you need to know. But just the just that just kind of set it up for all right. I know that they're telling me this stuff that they already told us in the previous movies. I mean, granted, there's going to be a lot of people watching this who weren't alive when those first movies came out,
Right.
and because the Matrix came out like what the first one came out in like '99.
Yeah,
I
it
should
was
remember that
99.
because that was
Yeah.
like one of the first movies we actually talked about on this podcast.
That's right, we
Yeah,
did. Oh my gosh, I forgot flashback.
yeah. It's like
Man.
there's a button for that,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Just remember that.
I don't think we've changed much since then.
No, no,
We
it's
pretty much
basically
do the
same.
exact same thing.
But the long story short, yeah, basically they tell you the entire story. I do like that they flipped some things on their ear, but
Yeah.
the choreography wasn't nearly as good.
It
I mean, granted, Keanu Reeves,
he's still going, yeah.
he's still going, but what I read was that he's been so steeped in getting the choreography nailed down for the next John Wick movie that didn't have time to do that for this movie.
Mm.
So he
That's why
basically
there's a
resorted
lot
to
of
like
this.
doing this. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like blocking bullets with his hands, but no actual like there were like a few like karate scenes. And I think they just repurposed stuff that he did in John Wick.
Yeah.
Probably.
So, I mean, pretty much whenever it ended, my wife was like, "Did you like it?" I said, "That's a hard question for me. Like, was it entertaining? Yeah, it was entertaining, but we didn't need this."
I like Neil Patrick Harris as a bad guy. Spoiler alert.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was nice. He did a good job.
he makes a good jackass.
Yeah. But so, I mean, so there you go. If hopefully we didn't spoil anything if you haven't seen it, but if you haven't seen it, I mean, I still if you like The Matrix, I
Yeah.
still think you should
I
see
still
it.
recommend it. Yeah.
But if you're never seen it before, you're not already invested in this movie, don't see it. That's really what
Yeah.
I would say. So,
All right. Mini review done.
yeah, there's we just reviewed that movie for you guys. But anyways, so let's talk about beer news, then we can get on to this movie.
Oh wow, we're still on that.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
I know.
So I'm just gonna
Beer
run through
news.
this real quick. Beer news. So stuff that's coming up. So it's end of January. Of course, we're heading headlong into February. Stuff that's coming up, of course, is like Valentine's Day, Olympics, all that stuff, and we have beer events that kind of complement that.
Oh yeah.
So, coming up, we have the fourth anniversary celebration at Parker County Brewing. We also have, of course, that is on February 5th. We also have the 14th anniversary celebration at Franconia on the 11th and 12th Feb. The Barrel Age Fest at 903 up on February 12th, which you said you're going to, right?
Yeah. So me and the Strikeout beers are going up there. So
Yeah.
be fun.
And speaking of breweries that they've also worked with down at Brutal Beer Works on the same day, they have their chili cook off. So if you're into chili, I totally recommend that because,
That's gonna be good beer and good
yeah,
chili, I
as a
bet.
person who has won a chili cook off in their life,
Whoa, we got a
yeah.
badass over here,
Well,
people.
not one. Came in third place, but hey,
Oh,
I still got an
please.
award, so I still placed.
Hey, that does no, no, that doesn't
It's
count.
still a big deal in my book. But also, so the on the Olympics front, we do have the Beer Olympics 2022 at Outfit Brewing on the 18th of February. So that seems like it's gonna be really cool as well. And then at Tups, and the 26th, we have Festival of Darkness 2022
Ooh,
also happening.
I'm tempted to go to that.
Yeah, and then Uh, not really a huge thing, but a beer release party at Martin House. If you're into their pickle beers, they have a tropical punch pickle beer party.
Oh,
So if you're really into those best made pickle beers,
I get chills. Ugh.
tropical punch pickle beer. Maybe I'll try that one. I've been afraid to try these pickle beers, so maybe I'll give it a go.
I've tried them all, but I mean, I would try that one too.
I'm just
But
so afraid to try it.
why?
I don't know. I'm afraid I'm afraid something will happen. It's like even when I went to Sourfest last year, and I was still afraid to try the pickle beers, and so it's like
Okay.
I tried I tried. It's funny because I tried one when we went to Lakewood like eons ago,
Yeah, yeah.
but I've just been always afraid to try their
Listen,
pickle beers.
if you're willing to try the stuffing beer,
That's
it's
true. That's
that is the
true.
worst beer I've ever had in my life.
That's true.
So it's not worse than that. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I just have this irrational
So
fear
to
of
start
pickles.
just start thinking about that. You know what? I've had the stuffing beer. I can take this beer.
That's true. Yeah,
So
rosemary should not go on beer.
no,
Yeah.
don't do rosemary and beer.
But, as always, thanks to Big Beer and Big D, .com and, Beer and Big D at Big Beer and Beer and Big D on Twitter. He collates this stuff. He does a killer job. So,
Fantastic.
yeah, I tweeted at him the other day just to kinda, like, shoot him some kudos.
Oh, that's good because
Yeah,
I always forget. I always say I need to reach out to him. I never do
yeah.
it. So there you go. If I remember which, I'll actually do it now. I'll put the link in the notes for you guys so you can go
Yeah, you can
check
go
it
to his
out.
website. He's got, like, a ton of stuff for, like, the North Texas beer stuff, so he, like, tracks it all down. He, uh he must have, a few extra minutes to just, like, kinda, like, track it all down, and, like, he must know the people who, like, make all that
Oh,
stuff
he
happen,
has
so,
to. He has
yeah.
to.
So, but he does a great job. Love this stuff. So, yeah, thanks to Big Beer and Big D.
Yep. Thank you so much, making my life a little bit easier.
Yeah. Otherwise, I have to go do it myself.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And we
Ah.
we remember what happened when I had to do all that.
Mm.
It was not good because I always forgot and would look it up last minute and then forget to edit the part out where I
Yeah,
was looking at it.
and there's all these there's so many breweries, it's hard to keep track.
For
It's
real.
like keep it all organized.
Jeez. All right. So now that that's done, movie time.
It wasn't from that studio, so we are watching a Tubi
Oof.
original. I've learned that, Tubi's not synonymous with quality. Like, they don't get the best movies. I mean, it's a free service. It's
Yeah.
like Pluto TV, but I feel like and Tubi, I mean, we've watched several movies on Tubi because they'll they'll
It
they help up and coming filmmakers, and I give them credit for that, but
and
not everyone's gonna be great.
and they have so many movies that are like what this podcast is about.
Yeah. I mean,
So
it makes our job a little bit
it
easier.
really whenever we were talking and Anthony was like, "All right, so what movie should we do?" I went on to Tubi and I just researched 2012 bad movie that's popped up. So I was
Mhm.
like, "Here we go. First person shooter."
It's like we know we're in for a good one when it's even Google agrees this is a bad movie.
Yeah, yeah, this is under bad movie, and it happened this year
Yeah, it
too.
came out. So yeah, like in the past 30 days is when it came out.
Wow. So
So it's a great start to the 2022.
the graphics of the game too, even especially for being 2022, you think is would be a little bit better. Let's
Oh,
see.
within the course of the movie, yeah.
On me, you can talk. I'm gonna see if we have the budget for this movie.
Oh. Just looking at like the opinions on there as well, just referred to as utter garbage. I'll let you be the judge of that. I'll let us be the judge of that, and you if you choose to watch it. But
No budget on here. I'm
no
sad.
budget. Oh, maybe that's just accurate. There was no
Yeah, maybe
budget.
that maybe that's why. Yeah,
So
yeah, I do like that there's one no, there's 3 reviews, but the best one, yeah, the title is utter garbage. They didn't even try, and then almost needs to be seen to be believed.
yeah,
I
but
mean, those titles by themselves.
just to circle back around, the movie we are watching, again, to be original, is first person shooter.
I think I said it.
Did you say it?
I
Okay,
don't know if I
I
said
don't
it.
remember if we said it. Uh,
Somebody tell us if we already said
yeah,
it.
we'll put it in the description so so you know that we're talking about it. But this is first person shooter, not to be confused with FPS first person shooter in 2014, which is a hardcore Henry style action
Oof.
movie,
Oof.
which I thought was what we were gonna watch. I
Oof.
was like, oh, okay, hardcore Henry again. But this is definitely not that.
We
This
might
is
have to though.
yeah, we may have to check that out. But this is sort of a pseudo stalker thriller movie.
It was so if you watch the preview for it, it's very different from what the actual movie is.
Mhm.
Did you actually find the preview? I know that you
And I
said you
never
couldn't
I
find the
never
trailer.
found the preview, so I don't know.
Okay, yeah,
So
so
I never had any false expectations set up. So maybe that was for
okay.
the best.
That probably was for the best because I
Yeah,
whenever I watched the trailer, I was like, "Oh, cool. All right, this will be good."
always happens.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how many times I've said that on this podcast of I watched the trailer and I had high hopes,
Hey,
and then
remember
we watch it and I'm like, "What the hell happened?"
remember Space Captain's Captain of Space?
Oh my god. That was brutal to get through.
Yeah, like the trailer looks so great.
Yeah. Uh, and then oh, what was that holiday one? Sleigh Bells.
Yeah.
The trailer for that looked like it was going to be funny.
Man, those trailer guys are in their money.
They sell you on those shitty movies. They're
Yeah.
like they found the best scenes, clipped them all together to make it look like you're about to watch something
Yeah,
good.
they just take everything good from that movie and put it in a 2-minute trailer, and then everything else is, like, bad.
So, here's to you trailer guys.
Yes. Cheers. You guys trick us, but you earn your money.
That's true. So, there's nobody noteworthy in this movie that you would know.
We have Jacob Blair. If you are a fan of
Who?
Hallmark Christmas movies, you may have seen Mr. Jacob Blair, who plays Spencer Bradford, our lead main character, who is the one being tortured through the course of this movie.
Oh,
He is in multiple Hallmark Christmas movies,
of
so
course
you
he
may
is.
be familiar with this guy.
I could see that.
He's got leading man face. So,
But I mean,
but he's not a good actor.
I feel like we have so many like stereotypical people, especially for this. We have so the hunky CEO.
Yeah,
We have the girlfriend that's a heroin addict. We
he had so many
have
odd choices in this movie.
yeah, we have the hacker guy that he hires with like they decided not to do a background check apparently before hiring this guy. That's a psychopath killer person. The and this drove me crazy. So they have Chelsea Mark,
Chelsea, yeah,
Chelsea Mark,
or yeah, no, yeah,
and
yeah,
then
Chelsea, yeah.
Mel, what's her name? Margaret? What's this name right here?
Mel Margin, yeah,
Thank you. So I just feel like they got the most stereotypical Asian people that they could find to play this movie.
yeah,
And it bugged the shit out of me because I was like, I mean, I don't get me wrong, they did a great acting job.
yeah.
I really like Chelsea. Ugh. Why am I
Yeah,
struggling with
Chelsea,
such an
yeah,
easy
Chelsea.
name?
Yeah, because
I think
I think you keep wanting to say Chesley or something.
yeah, just because like he doesn't look like he would be at Chelsea. But anyways, he's a fantastic like I thought he did a great job of acting.
It's really a bummer because his character seemed so interesting, and we got like
I
nothing
know.
except for
I
like a
wanted
description of his
background.
back. We got like a description of what his background is, but we got like nothing to show that. It was all tell
Yeah.
no
He
show.
was like part of a gang and shit, and you're just
Yeah,
like, I was hoping
he was like in this Asian gang, and he fought like and they fought like the Filipinos and all this stuff, and like
I wanted more. I
we got
wanted
like
more.
none. We like
And then they
we
killed
heard
him
about it, but
off.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it was like he went out like a freaking like a chump.
Yeah. And then Mel I was just like, they should have switched out Mel for Chelsea. I'm just saying. They
Yeah.
just but anyways, um, yeah, just I don't know. I almost felt like almost every single person, well, like I have the cast that we're looking at right now. They all just were so stereotypical. It was bad.
It was they were stereotypical, and they were also quite stoic throughout the course of the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Not a lot of emotion being shown here.
no. My favorite person was Josh, applicant number 2.
Yeah, oh, yeah?
Um
Oh,
so
is he the guy that had to go to Cabo?
um he's the one that got arrested.
Is he the one that got arrested? I thought no, that guy had a character name. I thought Josh applicant number 2 is the one he said, it's like, "Yeah, I can
Oh
start
yeah,
next week, but I got the Cabo,
I
and
gotta
that's
go. Yeah,
non-negotiable."
I gotta go to Cabo. I gotta go to Cabo.
Which, hey, you've already paid to go to Cabo. I get it. You've already paid to go.
Who
But
was that guy? Kyle? I think it was Kyle.
yeah, it may have been Kyle.
He's pretty much the second hacker that they hired.
Yeah.
I wanted to know his story too.
Yeah, he seemed, like, very intensely, like, focused on
Yeah.
his job, which, I feel bad for that guy because he ended up getting arrested for all this bullshit, but he was, like, just there to do the job.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Anyways, I know we've been jumping around.
but yeah, so this movie st the way this movie starts, just kinda going through things real quick. We can talk about the things we like and things we don't like,
Ugh.
and this is gonna be one of the things I don't like. I'm just gonna jump right into that.
So I'm clicking around on the IMDb, and right now it's saying, "How would you rate first person shooter?"
Out of
Oof,
10 stars.
oof. I mean, so before I answer this, we're gonna go through this, and then we'll actually rate it right here. How about that?
Okay, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do that.
So go ahead, you can chat, and then
It's like out of 10 stars. Man, that's just like a big scale there.
yeah.
So this way that so things I like, things I don't like. I'm gonna start with things I don't like because I probably have much more to talk about there than I have to
Oh
talk about
yeah,
in the
probably.
other category. Things I don't like though. I was so confused at the beginning of this movie. So the movie starts. We have a friend or former coworker of our main character. I forget what his name is.
Yeah, I don't remember his name either.
Is was it Steve Rosie?
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's playing one of
freaking Steve.
yeah, he's playing some game, maybe in one of the games they released. It's like some first person shooter. Actually, may have been a third person shooter. Uh, yeah, like it looked like a kind of like a I don't know, like a Mass Effect type game, but like modern day.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Which
MMORPG.
yeah, which this go ahead. Sorry, go
Yeah,
ahead.
but he's going through. Guy gets killed, and he's like gonna like do the heal on him and take him back to like a safe point or something like that, so they can get him healed up and so he can rejoin the match. Uh, I'm guessing because I don't really play online games all that much. So, but like the guy on the game, he starts talking to him, weird, and then he gets sniped through like the C7 vertebrae.
Yeah.
We find out.
Yeah, which I mean, that part doesn't really make sense because like it almost seemed like somehow he hacked the game to have the character say like you ruined my life or something like that.
Yeah. It's like he had to have
Because the
worked at
game
that company to do
crashes.
that.
Because the game crashes too.
Yeah.
So that's what makes me think maybe this is a game that's not out yet. And
And
then
he's like testing it for his company.
yeah, I don't know. It didn't
I was
make
like, we know
any
he's a
sense.
developer. Yeah. But we don't get any background on this.
There's zero. It feels like they do things expecting you to understand what they're doing.
Yeah. But he gets shot through. We later learn the C7 vertebrae because it's like a reference to another game that he worked on with the CEO main character.
Yeah.
But number one, it made me think. Number one, our villain. Uh, when did he train to be that good of a sniper? Right?
Right?
It's like, was he formerly in the military? And we don't know about that. There's so much we don't
And
know.
guess what? We never find out.
Yeah. And the the hacker thing. But here, this is the thing that sucks so much. And I was so confused. Is we see him die, and then we hear the narration, and we hear narration, and I'm like trying to figure out who's narrating this scene, and come, I finally figured out it's the guy who killed him. It's our villain. It's our bad guy. And then we see him. There's no suspense as to who the killer is. This is supposed to be like a suspense thriller. We know from the beginning of the movie who the bad guy is.
Yep.
It's like we should be like guessing. It's like for a good movie, we should be guessing who is fucking with these people, who's trying to ruin their lives. But we know from day zero who the bad guy is.
Yep.
And it's just like, wow, you just like released all the tension of this movie, like
It ruins it.
in the first scene.
Yeah. You as a viewer, you wanna be kind of guessing, could he be the killer?
Yeah.
Could that be the
It's
killer?
like, tantalize me.
And they're just like, "Oh, right off the bat, oh, by the way,
Yeah,
this guy,
it's Connor.
this guy,
Yeah,
it's him."
yeah, it's
So
Mr. Connor Burns
yeah.
is the bad guy. Everybody, nobody knows this but you, the viewer,
And yeah, I
'cause
feel
he's
like they
talking to
should
you.
have had the I could pull up his name again, but the other hacker or other programmer that they had
Yeah, yeah,
and him, like them two, they should have made it so you didn't know which one, but you knew it was one of them.
yeah, yeah.
You know
It's
what I
like it's
mean?
either Kyle or it's Connor, right?
Yeah. They
Which
should have done that.
which because we know from the beginning that it's Connor. I mean, we could have still gotten the voiceovers, and we could have had like the guy who plays Kyle and the guy who plays Connor have like similar voices that we wouldn't be able to tell because we're just getting a voiceover that we don't know who it is. But the they show us his face. They show us that he's like staying in this hotel and he's like hacking from his computer and just like, wow, way to just like get rid of any like forward
Yeah.
motion in this movie. It's gone from like being a suspense movie to being like a movie about torturing this dude.
It was
It's like it's almost like snuff film at that
yeah.
point.
It made it boring.
Yeah.
It really did because
Well, because we know what's
zero
gonna
guessing.
happen. We know that guy's not gonna win.
Yeah. I mean, they left nothing to the imagination. Like they crushed it all immediately
Yeah.
with
So I'm just gonna explain to you. It's like having a joke explained to you before the punchline.
yeah, truly. Or one of those where you have to explain the punchline after you said it.
Yeah.
You're just like, it's not good anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, that really was that the stuff you wanted to know more about, you didn't. The stuff you didn't give a shit about, they really went into detail about.
Yeah. It's like give me a slow reveal. I was like, I don't need like I'm the kind of person who wants to know stuff like earlier on, but like
Not in the first scene.
you gotta tease me a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah.
Not right off the bat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scene one. It's him. He did it.
Yeah.
He murdered the guy.
He's the bad guy, by
Yeah.
the way.
Yeah. He's the one that's killing everybody.
Oh man.
And he's gonna narrate the entire movie talking about why he well, that's the other thing. So the mystery doesn't become who's doing it, but why is he doing it?
All right.
Which is ultimately less important because now you're wanting me to care about this character's motivations, and that's such a harder sell because you could require very good acting for me to care about that.
Exactly.
Uh, and it's just like now I have to focus on why does he want to do something as we're seeing in and you haven't seen this yet, but as we're seeing in the Book of Boba Fett,
Mm-hmm.
it's like the mystery of one thing versus the mystery of why are they doing this thing that I know they're doing. It's not as it's a much harder sell.
I mean, it's kind of like with the Han Solo movie.
Yeah.
Like, so a lot of people weren't happy with it because they're like, the mystery of Han Solo is kind of what makes him him.
Yeah.
So making a movie where you kind of learn about him was almost just kind of like defeating in the sense.
Right.
It
It's like
lessened him.
Han Solo, this is where'd he get his blaster? Oh, he got his blaster because some dude just gave it to him. How'd he get the ship? Oh, he won it in a card game.
Yeah.
But why does he help Luke? Will not tell.
Yeah, yeah.
Woo.
Which I just realized. So I have these lights in the back. I should have turned it on for the background. Look at that. Oh, maybe not. There we go. A
Oh, there
little
we go.
background. Yeah, that matches, right?
Yeah. You
There we
just,
go.
set it to strobe.
Oh, which I can if I figure out how. Oh no. Oh, oh, that's
Is that
fancy.
distracting at all?
Probably. Let's just blue. Sorry. Anyways,
For those of you in just a solely audio medium, we apologize.
we're learning things here. It's gonna take a little bit, but again, go check out the Facebook, the YouTubes,
Yeah, it'll make so much more
whatever.
sense to
Yeah.
you.
So, um, but honestly, like, the movie, it was so disappointing. But
Well, and that's not even to get into the fact that the acting was flat for
oh
the
yeah,
most of it.
oh
Uh,
yeah.
there was like a few characters that I liked, that I could like kind of like I don't know if I could sympathize with them because again, uh, almost everybody in the course of the movie was like kind of either a dickwad or an asshole. But like the few characters that I really could sympathize with were like Beth, the COO, the she when she gets hacked and like
Oh
they
yeah.
post all the pictures and make it look like she like slept her way to her position. I could sympathize with her, and she was actually
And
an interesting character.
yeah, and like that, uh, as bad as it sounds, I almost really liked that scene because that is like, okay,
It
that's
humanizes
more
her, yeah.
realistic.
Yeah.
Because there's so much in this movie that's just like doesn't make sense and doesn't do this and doesn't do that. You kind of don't like that person, all that kind of stuff. But like, whenever she says like, "I worked my way to get here, now it's all
Yeah.
destroyed," I was like, "Oh, this is like the most realistic thing in this whole fucking movie." Like,
Right. It's like this is the closest thing to plot we're getting here.
yeah,
Um, and like, of course, you mentioned with Zhang, we get a little bit of tantalizing detail about him, but it does
not
not pay
enough,
off at all.
not enough.
Uh, but I mean, because we spend the entire time with Mister Spencer Bradford and Connor Burns, our quote unquote hero and our villain, and a little bit of time with Molly, Spencer's girlfriend. Uh,
Yeah,
but none of them are good people. Like
everybody is really bad.
Spencer is we get told multiple times that nobody likes Spencer.
Nobody
Uh
likes him. Even
which I
people
get
say
that.
it,
They sell that pretty well
yeah,
for
and
him.
people say it straight to his face too. Like,
Y-
people don't like you.
Yeah,
Like,
which it's like if they're trying to sell that, yeah, he comes across as like a total
like
asshole.
I love whenever they're like, nobody in here wants to get in an elevator with you, and he's like, "How is that different?" Or he says something like that, where he's just like, "They already don't want to."
Yeah, how's that different from my day to day?
Yeah,
Um but I had some sympathy with the Molly character, and I felt really like with the whole thing where she was getting gaslit by the villain, and it's like I was like, I guess more out of a sense of like that asshole, and I would like want to like beat the hell out of Connor. I felt
mhm,
sympathy for her there, but like otherwise it's just like I don't like any of these people.
yeah,
I just like want it to be over.
yeah, yeah. I
So
did too.
those are my two main things is like the lack of any suspense in this suspense thriller movie and the acting. It just didn't land for me. And the only good actors were like the side characters. Are Kyle, who was the fall guy
Mhm.
for some of the early incidences, and Beth. They were like the most interesting characters, but they were not the main characters, so we got like very little time with them.
It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, the best part of this movie was the ending. That was the best because you finally get action.
Yeah.
You get something. Um, so I guess the things that I disliked was like, I feel like this is almost always my go-to, just the unnecessary, awkward, weird sex scenes.
Always. They always do that. It's always with these cheap movies.
And it's just like, we don't have money to do anything else, so let's just throw in a bunch of bad sex scenes.
And it's the funny thing is like they didn't it was like it wasn't even, like, realistic.
No.
It's literally it's like you could tell. It's like because all the quote unquote action is off camera,
Mhm.
but it's like just like it's like our hero
Yeah.
just like laying on top of this other lady, and they're both you can tell they're both fully clothed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was
And they're
funny.
and they're doing the sex
Yeah.
noises.
"Ugh, ee, ah." Um,
It was so
so
poorly
I was
done.
watching it in my office because I was like, "I'm not gonna put my wife through these movies anymore.
Yeah.
Now that I have my own area." She walks by, she's like, "What are you watching over there?" I'm like, "Listen, I don't wanna be watching this either, alright?" Um,
It's like, I'm doing it. It's for work.
yeah, I was just like, truly, I feel like if it's a really bad, like, bad as in, like, just shitty to watch movie, they fill it with bad sex scenes, as in, like, "Oh, sex sells, so we better do that."
It's been a go-to since the
And it's
first
just like,
film.
you
Yeah.
gotta stop because that's not and, like, it's not enough.
Yeah.
At least for I mean, maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not horny enough or what, I don't know, but I'm just like,
Well,
"That didn't do anything.
it's like
We gotta
you
move
it's
on."
like
Like
for the funny thing is for most a lot of movies that where they lack, like, the elements of a good movie, and they do that sort of thing that just kinda, like, fill time and, like, distract you from the fact this is a bad movie. They, like they'll, like, 'cause you see this, like, in a lot of, like, kinda crummy horror movies where
yeah,
they have that or they show skin or something like that, and
yeah,
it's like, "Oh, boobs, ah."
yeah.
Uh, but there wasn't even that. It was just
No,
like
there's nothing.
it's just like they're
Um,
say it's like it was like, safe for work porn.
mhm.
I was like, "Okay."
But just I don't know, I think the number one thing I probably disliked the most out of the whole movie was truly just they left nothing for you to think about.
Oh, yeah. They explain everything.
Like, kinda like what I said earlier, as in the things you wanted to know about, they, like, shut you down as in, like, "We're not effing going there." Like,
Yeah.
we're not. And then things that you don't give a shit about, they're like, "Let's give you some details."
Mhm.
So like, "Okay, cool." I mean, it just they were trying so hard to push you to love this guy, but at the same time hate him, and you're just like, "He's a dick."
Yeah.
Like, so
I just
I
yeah.
if you can't like one of the main characters, you're not gonna like the movie.
Right, right, right.
Just in reality, like, if there's 3, 4 people that are the main characters and you don't like any single one of them, it's gonna be a rough movie. And
Mhm.
that's why right off the bat, whenever they're like, "Hey, here's all the main characters. Here's the bad guy, by the way. Here's the one that's getting tortured, which he's a bad guy. Here's this other person. She's not necessarily a bad guy, but
Not a
you're
great
not gonna know
person.
anything
Yeah.
about her
Yeah.
really. Like, we're not gonna tell you much so you like her." And it's just like, okay, so why am I watching this?"
Yeah. It's like just a bunch of unlikable people.
Yeah. Uh,
It's not even to mention that that's not even going into the fact that the villain, his, villainous plots are those that a 14-year-old would come up with, and, 2, the police are, like, the most inept, like, portrayal of
they were
police ever.
so stupid in
Like,
this
they were
movie.
like, if they were there, they were, like, just, like, blind to everything, and, otherwise, they were just, like, not there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It was
Ugh.
it's like there's the scene where they arrest him for murder of his friend, but like not
There's
even there's
no
like the next scene, the guy's walking through his office.
yeah, and
It's
they're
like,
like,
"Don't talk to me. I've had a day."
yeah, and they're like, "Oh, how'd you get out?" He goes, or, "Why did they arrest you?" "Well, I had some texts on the phone." That's not why they would arrest you.
Yeah,
There's no way they'd come to you, be like, "By the way, we're arresting you because last week you sent some text messages that
yeah,
could come across as threatening." Like, really? That's
yeah.
the
I
only
don't.
proof?
No judge would. It's like based on my watching Law and Order, no judge would sign off on that warrant.
Yeah. Listen, that's how I base my whole life is Law& and Order, so that's how I learned what to do and what not to do, so
Yeah, stuff we liked about this movie.
ugh.
I have something.
Oh,
I
thank
do
God
have
you do.
something.
I gotta think.
All right, so this is kind of something they use as a crutch, and I'm gonna have to look and see what if what if anything this director has done otherwise, because I'm
Okay.
really curious if this is just like a trope that they use. But the they use I'm a big fan of foreshadowing, and they use the shit out of some foreshadowing,
Oh yeah.
like, but it wasn't even, like, subtle.
No.
But, like, there was, like, the talk of, like, it was, like there was, like, short-term foreshadowing and there's a long-term foreshadowing. They just use foreshadowing all over the place. The foreshadowing in the beginning where the sword is picked up by, our villain when he comes to work for the company, and he, like, cuts his hand on it when they and they talk about how, like, how it's a real sword. So it kinda gives us the hint. It's like, "Oh, he's gonna meet his end on this sword, eventually. It's gonna come back."
Oh yeah, you knew it.
Yeah. It comes kind of like a Chekhov's gun a little bit. There's like the foreshadowing of he talks about how he's gonna shoot. He would like shoot this guy in the head, or somebody if they really wanted to kill somebody, they would shoot him in the head or something like that. And then the next like almost it was like one or two scenes later, we get the picture of his LinkedIn where his head's like exploding from like a bullet hitting his head.
Yeah.
And so, I think we figure out later on it's less like foreshadowing and it's more that like he's being listened to,
Yeah.
because the guy works is in the building now. Um, but like they just like drop these little hints here and there that kind of like point to other events that happen later in the movie.
Mhm.
If you're willing and to put in the energy to connect the dots, uh, it's really not worth the energy, but, the stuff's
Nope.
there. So I thought it
Yeah.
was, like, a little bit interesting that they were putting in the effort to do that at the very least.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's,
Um
like, my one thing. Oh, it's only an hour and a half long, so there's that too.
it felt so much longer.
Yeah.
What I enjoyed. Um Oof.
It's free.
It's free. There we
We
go.
didn't have to pay for it.
It's true.
It's one of our cardinal rules on this podcast, though, so
If we pay for it, we it's either like a dollar
yeah,
or we know ahead of time it's worth the money.
yeah,
Like so we'll never recommend y'all to watch a movie unless we know if it's a dollar
or it's good.
or it's actually worth the few bucks. But
Yeah.
um I'm really struggling here. I really wish there was something. The only thing I can think of is the dad,
That whole thing was,
but it's
interesting.
still weird. Um,
Well, like, that Russian roulette scene was it was
that was
interesting,
wild.
but there was no payoff on it.
There was nothing about it that yeah, it was an unnecessary scene.
I was like
Um,
it's like they set it up as something big, like, I totally thought he was gonna kill the dad,
oh yeah.
and I was like, "How is he gonna do this? How is he gonna get away with it, and, like, get out of the facility without anybody knowing he, like, had the dad shoot himself?" But, like, he pulled the trigger once playing Russian roulette, and then he left.
You know what? My favorite part's the cocaine, the drugs.
The drugs.
You know what? I think the drugs is really what made this movie. So, shout out to you, drugs. I guess I don't know.
We never I never I never got consistency in what drug his girlfriend was
She
taking.
was changing a lot of what she does. Apparently,
Yeah, because like, I heard it referred to as coke or was it specifically referred to as cocaine, or was he
she's.
like, she just had stuff on her nose?
Well, I mean, you saw her snort cocaine
Yeah,
too.
but she was also they also said she was taking methamphetamines,
Yeah, so it's just like, "Oh,
and
wait,
they and
so does
they
she do a lot of different ones?"
and then
I
they
don't know.
yeah, and then they made a reference to a drug name that I had never heard before. It sounded like just some dude's name.
Yeah,
Uh,
Roger, I don't know.
yeah, yeah, it was like because I saw it I was like, "Did they just misspell it, in the, subtitles?" And so I went back and it's like, "No, they said just some dude's name and that as a name of a drug she was taking."
Yeah, so
It's like, I mean, it's been a while since I attended a dare course, so I don't know all the street names for these drugs, but
I mean, I don't there's nothing I can say that is worth mentioning really that I
yeah,
enjoyed because I don't know. I just don't. I feel like most of the time I can pull something out of my ass to say that's a positive, but I don't have one.
oh,
So
well,
there we
there it
go.
is.
I mean, so if you're gonna guess the rating, I mean, I feel like it's pretty obvious. It's definitely a cheers.
It's like, drum roll.
Yeah. Um, yeah, don't watch it. Don't watch it.
Yeah. even if you're, like, limited to watching stuff on Tubi, there's so much better stuff there. Well,
It's not.
go watch
Yeah,
Lava
it's yeah.
Yeah.
Go watch that. It's not even a good background movie.
It's it's crazy because there's, like, so many it's like, for this type of movie, there's so many movies that have done this specific thing better.
Yeah,
So, there are much better versions of this movie. It if you go look at the reviews on IMDb that have been written by viewers, it says kinda what I'm thinking. It's like, basically, this seems like this kind of movie, this is the kind of movie that was it seems like it's been written by, like, a 14-year-old, with a 14-year-old's understanding of how the world works, how adult relationships work, how you would, how, like, somebody would, like, torture someone who stole an idea from them on a Reddit message board.
yeah. Uh,
Yeah. Which was the dumbest rationale for doing this sort of shit.
so
It's like, of course, if you're gonna put something on Reddit, somebody's gonna steal your idea. It's Reddit.
yeah, it's fucking Reddit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what social media is in general now.
Yeah.
If you put it out there, someone's gonna steal it and say it's theirs. I
Yeah, if it
mean,
wasn't gonna be that guy, it was gonna be BuzzFeed or something like that.
yeah. So, 2 party fouls, right?
Yeah, party
Okay,
foul in my book.
fantastic.
Yeah. It's
So
like foreshadowing will not save this movie for me.
no. So there we go. Don't don't watch it. Most of the time, I'm like, maybe a background, or if you're doing chores. But I'm like, it's not even worth giving them that extra view.
Yeah, I couldn't even get a again, I watched this movie, solo, but I was like, even if I had somebody in the room watching it with me, I'm just like, there's just
No.
not I mean, there's no comedic elements to this. There's no, like, silliness to this that you can kinda tug on a little bit. It's just
It's just bad.
soulless, it's stoic, it's not great.
So there you go. That's that fucking movie.
Yeah, so
Thank God it's over with. So we're
don't waste
starting
your
off
time.
this new year with a banger.
Yeah.
I mean, it can only go up from
It's
here,
like, "Come
right?
on, movies, we're coming for you."
That's right. um, wow. Whew. That's rough. So, anyways, let's move on to our thing of the week.
Thing of the
I feel like I need to
week.
have a theme song for a theme of the week.
You need the "Wah, wah, wah."
Oh yeah. I don't. There we go.
Okay.
Sure. Why not? Do you have anything, or do I need to go first?
So my thing of the week is so beginning of the year you always get like your Disney Pluses, your HBO Max, all this stuff. They're like getting their like early shows out of the gate. They're just trying to maintain your attention from the previous year going in before we start getting shows released post like Super Bowl. One show I've been enjoying immensely is been Peacemaker. If you're not familiar with
I
it,
haven't seen that yet.
yeah, if you're not familiar with it, if you've seen Suicide Squad, there's two Suicide Squad movies. There's Suicide Squad, and then there's the Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad is the second one. I don't recommend seeing Suicide Squad because it's not good. The Suicide Squad, good. The
Okay.
difference being the Suicide Squad was made by James Gunn, the maker of films such as Guardians of the Galaxy 1, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, multiple different he made Slither,
Hmm.
a bunch of really good movies. He made the Suicide Squad, and one of the things they did in the Suicide Squad, they set up this show Peacemaker. And Peacemaker is one of the pseudo villain, pseudo hero characters coming out of that movie. He supposedly dies during the course of the movie, but he's wakes up in a hospital in the post credits. Time moves forward, and now we're to the where this show is, and it ends up featuring. So I'm not a huge fan of this guy, just like in life in general, but John Cena plays the Peacemaker. And again, he's like this. He's not even like an original DC Comics character. He's like, I think it's called like a Charlton Comics, which they were
Hmm.
purchased by DC Comics. And he's a guy. He's like a guy who wears red, white, and blue. He's got an eagle as a best friend, and he wears like this silver, like chromed helmet that's got like depending on what helmet he wears, it's got different powers. It also features Danielle Brooks, if you're familiar with Orange is the New Black.
Hmm.
She's a really good actress as well. Uh, Freddie Stroma, uh, Chick, how is ever hard time pronouncing his name? Chakudi Iwuji and Jennifer Holland, and one of my favorites, John Agee, who he plays a guy named John Economos, but you may better know him as Outside Dave from New Girl.
Outside Dave.
Yeah,
But such a great show.
yeah. Which I see what you're bringing up there. But it's if you're into the superhero shtick, and you've been kind of tired of seeing what they've been throwing up on Disney Plus with the Marvel movies and stuff like that, uh, and if you like the stuff that you've seen James Gunn do in the past, he's always got like a good thing for comedic timing, but also heartfelt character studies. I really, even if you don't like John Cena, because either you could not like him because like he comes across as a jackass, or you can't see him. But yeah, the the I still highly recommend it. As somebody who's not a fan of that guy, the total crew of people in that movie. I'm sorry, in that movie, in over the course of that show, and
Right.
the yeah, the writing, it's just so great.
Okay.
So yeah, recommend it. Peacemaker. It's on HBO Max. It's really good.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
I have such a long list of shows to watch, but
Yeah, me too.
yeah. So mine's actually a show also, which okay, so I have two. So I'll quickly throw out RuPaul's Drag Race. I mean, I'm having a
May the
blast.
best woman, or no, it's may the best
Best
drag
drag
king
queen.
win.
Yeah,
Yeah, they changed it.
it did. I noticed that too. I kind of
Yeah.
wondered if it was for legal reasons, but
So
just
which side note, Ryan and I, we are both in a RuPaul's Drag Race
yes,
fantasy league,
I was about to say that too.
and I'm kicking his ass right now.
Anthony's doing very well. So yeah, so I a little bit took so pretty much I made a drag race league. I kind of took ideas from a bunch of different people that have done it and kind of made it. So we did, yeah, we're doing that with his like me, my wife, you and your wife,
Hmm.
and your sister-in-law and her friend.
Yeah, one of her friends. Yeah.
Okay. I always wondered, I was like, I don't really know who this person is, but
Yep.
and then
It's like I
also
always say he's got an unfair advantage. He lives up in New York City. He knows some of these queens.
yeah.
So
Um, and then I'm also doing it with the Strikeout Beer guys.
yeah.
So
Okay.
I got them to get on board since I do their fantasy football. I was like,
Uh,
we do your fantasy football, you'll do my fantasy drag race. So I'm doing terrible in both. I'm doing very bad in both.
uh,
But um so there's that. And then my other show is the Righteous Gemstones. I know we've mentioned it. Have you seen it yet?
I've seen the first season. I've seen the first episode of the second season. I'm really excited about Eric Andre being in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a fantastic show. I mean, so the people it has John Goodman. It has which I took my glasses off, so I'm blind. I have to get a little bit closer here. Danny McBride, which he's so funny. Adam
Divine. Yeah.
Divine. I love so Tony
Cavallero. Yeah.
Cavalera, he plays Keith. Oh my gosh, he's so funny.
Yeah.
Ed Patterson plays Judy, which Judy is wild in this show, man. She's so crazy. But those are like the main like super big people in this show. But I mean, it's
Well,
pretty
like,
much
of course, and we also have Skylar Gisondo in there as well. He's really good.
yes,
Which
yeah.
if you've seen what's that Santa Clarita Diet, he's really funny in that.
But pretty much it's a family of mega like that own and run a mega church. And it's just obviously it's exaggerated,
Hmm.
but man, it's so funny. It's wild. So
Yeah, it's funny because I'd never heard about this show before. Ryan told me about it, and I was like ready to go in there, like not like any of these characters,
yeah.
because having spent some time in that type of environment. But like, I couldn't help at the end, towards the end of the first season, kind of rooting for some of them,
Yeah.
even though they were complete and utter dickwads.
They're all terrible
Yeah.
people. But it's so funny. It's like I keep on saying wild because it truly is such a wild show.
Yeah.
Um, but man, we have a blast watching it. And yeah, I mean, if you grew up kind of in that world,
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff you're like, even though it's exaggerated, you're like, yeah, I remember that kind of stuff. Like,
That tracks.
yeah, this adds up.
Like, it's like close enough. I believe it. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I guess it depends where you are in your walk of life, whether you would like this show or not,
Yeah.
honestly. But
I would argue that well, I would argue that, it's a show for all it's a show for people who, are no longer in that life, and it's also a show for people who don't take themselves very seriously, who are also still in that life, so
yeah,
if you take it super serious if you take yourself super seriously, then you maybe not would not enjoy it.
yeah. So I mean, watch at your own risk. If you don't like it, don't at me. Like I don't care. I enjoy it.
It's not for everyone, but it's still I
Yeah.
still think it's pretty good.
I
I
mean,
recommend it.
4 episodes are out. Well, when this releases, episodes will be out. It comes out every Sunday night on HBO Max.
That makes sense, Sunday
Yeah.
nights.
So I know, right? I thought that was great. I was like, they timed that for a reason.
Yeah.
Um, anything else you want to mention before we start doing the wrap up?
I don't know. I can't use up everything. I gotta save stuff for other
All
podcasts.
right. So, um, oh, geez, that's a lot louder than I planned it to be. Sorry, people.
And take 2.
So, if you have movies you want us to watch, let us know. We pretty much can watch on any streaming platform at this point. I feel like we pretty much have them all.
We've got pretty good coverage at this point.
If there's any kind of beer that you want us to drink that is local to us or kind of from our area, or I
Yeah.
mean, if you want to ship, but it's illegal, so I'm not going to necessarily say no, but I'm not going to say yes. So
It's like I'm not against traveling to get beer.
yeah. So pretty much if there's something you want us to drink, let us know. Where all can they find us? Do you remember where all they can find us?
You can find us on Facebook for Let's Do a Podcast. If you're looking for some older archived stuff, you can go on Instagram at Let's Instapod.
Mm-hmm.
I do plan on eventually putting stuff up there again. I was actually on there earlier today. I was like, it's been since August since I put anything up there. Twitter, same thing with Twitter too. I've never been good at the Twitter. Let's tweet a pod. For the YouTube, if you're not already watching this on YouTube, I think it's Let's Do a Podcast 22.
No idea. Sure.
Hopefully you're there already. Do you know the stuff about the Twitch and all that stuff? I don't.
So
where you can find us on Twitch and stuff.
Everything else will be on the Partycast. So look up Partycast Network on Twitch, Partycast Network Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Yeah.
So
it's like Let's Do a Podcast on the Partycast Network.
So thank you guys so much for listening. Let's end a podcast.
Peace.